Hello everyone, Kerr Martian here, back with Train Simulator 2017. But you guys know that because you've been watching me set up this stream and figure out just how to do it. Big thanks to TI Freak 8X for helping me figure out all the nitty-gritty of actually getting this started in the first place. Also, thanks to everybody who is joining us right now. I see we have 7 viewers. I think one of them is me, so really that's 6 viewers who have joined for my inaugural Train Simulator stream. We'll see if this is a little bit more interactive, a little bit more exciting than just playing by myself and streaming. I almost wish you guys could say stuff too. Maybe one day I'll have to do a stream where you guys are on Skype. But for now, let's give this a try. So we are going to be driving a Class 377 EMU, that's an electric multiple unit train, from Brighton and London to London, Victoria. So without further ado, let's get going. Just have to wait for Train Simulator 2017 to load up this scenario. If you're not familiar, Brighton is in the south of England, about 50 miles south of London on the shore. This is a commuter service that takes commuters between Brighton's main station and London, Victoria, which is one of the many commuter train stations in London. The Class 377, as I said, is an electric multiple unit, which means each train car has its own set of electric motors. There is a driver at the front of the train, of course, but there is no locomotive. Each car is, electrified and has its own motive power, so each car could theoretically move on its own, although I strongly suspect that, like many modern train and commuter cars, these are semi-permanently coupled into groups. Now, let us hope that you guys are not deafened by my sound. Hopefully I came up with a fairly good volume there. I see that it is a rainy morning, so it is 9:18 a.m. Good morning, driver. Today you'll be running the fast service between Brighton and London, Victoria. You'll only be stopping at East Croydon and Clapham Junction. It's time for the passengers to board the train, open the doors, and let them on. So we will press T here. In theory, our doors will open. Probably have to turn on our train first. So let us put ourselves into forward, kill the AWS, and see if we can get those. Oh, the doors are open, just not in the first car, for no easily explained reason. I'm going to put myself in free cam so we can wander around a little and look at my train. We've got people hanging out inside, a couple of passengers getting ready to go to London today. That should be fun. They look pretty comfortable. I don't know, this guy doesn't look so comfortable. Everyone else looks pretty comfortable. Our doors are closing, so let's get up to the front here. Up to the front here. Up to the front here. All right, and let us take off our brakes and get going. Speed limit is 25 miles an hour as we pull out of Brighton Station. And we definitely want to get our windshield wipers and some headlights going here. So first things first, let's do some headlights. Very good. And let's see if I can find my controls for the windshield wipers. I'm afraid things are a little bit blurry here. That's the horn. Two-tone horn, very nice. Where are our windshield wipers? Hazard lights, door release, wash wipe controls. Let's go with that. Aha! Alright, we have a 40 mile an hour limit coming up, but we're doing okay so far. So we can set ourselves into like 20% acceleration. Yeah, that guy was pretty white. He probably was a vampire. It's a rainy day, the sun's not out, so he can safely take the train up to London. And we are just hitting 25 miles an hour as we enter the 25 mile an hour, the 40 mile an hour zone. But we are not allowed to accelerate past that speed limit until our whole train has made it past that 40 mile an hour mark that you can see on that little HUD at the bottom of the screen. So as soon as that last car, I'll go to the last car and we can see where it's going to, gets past that marker coming up. There's the 40. Now we can accelerate to 40. So I'll put myself into like, let's say 62%. Get some nice acceleration sound going there. As we head up towards 40, and I better keep an eye on that speed. I'm also going to keep myself in the front, so if my AWS goes off, I will notice. That is the yellow exclamation point, that comes up to tell me that I'm going over a speed limit, or alrighty, now we can go up to 75. 100% it, why not? Or that I'm in danger of running a yellow light or a red light at some point. So if we miss that, we go automatically into emergency braking, and I think that's to be avoided. I have 3 monitors full of windshield wipers, and everything is great because I have OBS, I have the game itself, and I have my stream. One of my friends recently told me that he was visiting London and it was sunny the entire time he was there, which I found shocking and illogical. But that's what he claimed. Alrighty, 65 miles an hour as we head through some station that I cannot currently read the name of. Heading towards 75 miles an hour in our nice Class 377. We have quite a long Class 377 today. Just keep an eye on that speed so we don't start speeding. Looks like we have something like 1, 2, It's clearly not the right way to count cars. I don't know, maybe a 10-car train? Could be a 12-car train, as a matter of fact. We are edging nicely up towards 75 miles an hour. Also, I hope the stream is not lagging too much for you guys. Time Warner Cable came and theoretically fixed my internet today. It has been extremely bad for about 3 weeks now, pretty much dropping out every hour or so. So one hopes that it's actually fixed now. One is not particularly confident of that fact, though. It's certainly juddering for me, but I imagine the stress of both uploading and downloading at the same time is what's making it so terrible for me. I hope it's decent for you guys. Sort of lagging? I don't know if there's a way to. And that was a nice ding because everything's going smoothly. Hello, Class 377. I don't know if there's a way to just look at the chat and not see the video on my end. Well, for me, it looks like a blurry mess in the playback, so hopefully it's not that way for you guys. We're speeding right along, 72 miles an hour. We can give a little bit more power than that. I like quoting Jeremy Clarkson, speed! But alas, Southern would not be particularly happy with us if we went over the speed limit. Emergency brakes would kick in, and that would be the end of our, well, a temporary end of our jaunt for today. Look at that. That's pretty. That's pretty. That desires a screenshot. That deserves a screenshot, rather. Screenshots for days. Now we can go up to 90 miles an hour, so let's just put on all the power and get right up. Nice and clear? Awesome. Bitrate might need adjusting. Yes, bitrate might indeed need adjusting. I agree. Glad the video is nice and clear, though. And can you guys hear my voice and the train sounds each at a reasonable volume, I hope? Ding. Ding for a cleared AWS. Well, not cleared AWS that didn't trigger. Just an AWS round letting us know that everything is A-OK. Not to be confused with the very similar looking TPWS ramps, which if you've watched some of my previous videos, I had a whole section where I talked about the difference between AWS and TPWS and the ways that each of those protect you from doing terrible things. Sorry to see you go if you're going to be leaving and heading back to HCWP A Helper. Excellent. Glad to hear that the audio, and we're speeding. Let us fix that. See, this is what happens when we put on all the power. We lose 8 points. But we need some power so we can stay up at 90 miles an hour. I'm using my keyboard shortcuts for this, but I could just as easily play with the controls here, not with the phone. My controls are right down here. So this particular EMU has a combined throttle and brake. So you just pull it all the way back to, pull it all the way forward to go into full braking, or all the way back to full accelerate. Diesel locomotives tend to have separate brakes and accelerators. Electric locomotives usually have this particular setup, although some also do have separate brake and throttle handles. Our next stop is East Croydon in 34 miles, so we have a nice, long, fast run before we get to East Croydon. Our ETA there is just about 24 minutes from now. East Croydon, if you guys know, is where one of our esteemed calculator programming friends has lived for quite a few years now. Well, he lives near East Croydon. In one of my previous videos also on this line. Sorry, I'm going to pause and take a look at what the station is. What do we have here? We're at Hassocks. All right, unpause. One of our esteemed calculator programming friends, who sadly has not had much time for the community lately, lives near East Croydon. So the first time that I drove this route on my channel. I gave him a shout out as we went past. That's fair enough, Helper? I hope your programming is going well. I'm glad you're on HCWP. So for those not familiar, HCWP, or Have Calc Will Program, is Chemetech's weekly calculator programming and just general programming and community chat boondoggle that we have on Hangouts every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It's been going on for, I want to say, 6 or 7 years now, started by our now departed from the community member Raylan, who wrote various calculator programs and a book or two, but he started up HCWP, we adopted it, and it's been going strong ever since. Tonight, unfortunately, I tried to hop on HCWP and there was nobody on, so I'm glad that A Helper is filling in the ranks there and making sure that we have some good activity. As far as I know, he's working on his Chemetech contest number 20 entry. Chemetech contests are a very fun way that we encourage people to work on learning new skills with programming their calculators and compete for some pretty fun prizes. This time I think we have some Steam and other gift cards on offer. This is Burgess Hill, I think it was. I don't want to go into the map because sometimes looking at the map crashes the game, sometimes it doesn't. But I certainly don't want to crash the game right now. Hello, Class 377. Totally breaking the rules by blowing my horn at you. Sorry, that was out of sync. I was looking at my playback. That was Burgess Hill. Okay, cool. It's kind of nice having the 20 or 30 seconds delayed copy to look back at in case you missed anything. Alright, what am I coming up to now? Something that I'm going past far too fast to read. Still going at a nice 88 miles an hour. Our scheduled time for East Croydon is 9:50 on the dot, and our ETA is 16 seconds before that. So as long as we keep pretty close to 90 miles an hour, we'll be making our schedule for today. It looks like the rain stopped for the moment, so I may be able to turn off my windshield wipers. Is that W? No, it's not W. But we can stop those thwacking away in front of our faces. There we go. It is certainly a very cloudy, overcast day. Oops, definitely need a screenshot here. Beg your pardon. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Look at that. Look at that beautiful viaduct. That is what we are talking about. Yes, indeed. Yes, so we want to, actually be on time today in our Class 377. Our London commuters have places to go, people to see, and things to do. So if we can get them where they're going by about 10 o'clock, 10:15, life will be good. Presumably they're the people who get to go into work just a little bit later than everyone else. They didn't quite have to be there at 9 a.m. That would definitely be me if I had to take the train to work. Although, I suppose there was a time in my life a couple summers back when I was commuting on about an hour and a half commuter rail every day for a 3-month-long summer internship. And for that, I think I took about a 7:30, 8 o'clock train every day. I guess that did end up getting me there around 9:30, 10 o'clock because it was an hour and a half followed by a short bus ride. But it certainly was earlier than I tend to get up in the morning. I know at least some of you guys are early risers by necessity, looking at you, TI Freak 8X. Some of you not so much. Yes, non-calculator stuff in HCWP indeed, for better or worse. Although certain of us here, I won't name names, don't always love when there's tons of distracting non-calculator stuff going on in HCWP because it really can distract from the primary goal of having calculators and programming. Flying along at 88.7 miles an hour. Look at the scenery. Nice and rural here. I like it. Pull out a bit more so you can see more of the surroundings here, while I also keep an eye on the AWS. Got some fields over to the right, some nice little row houses over to the left, trees hemming us in on either side, and the open rail. Very nice. 4 a.m. isn't that early? I don't know. 4 a.m. is pretty early. 4 a.m. is more often when I'm going to sleep than when I'm getting up by about a factor of 10 or 20. So, ding. No ding. Where's the ding? That was an AWS ramp. I certainly do not envy you that, TI Freak. I certainly do not. I am, however, extremely impressed that you're able to stick with that kind of schedule without keeling over and just, oh, we're speeding again. Is what happens when we put on all the speed and don't pay attention. Another 8 points down. That's 16. We have a minus 16. Are we going to get a gold star? I hope we'll get a gold star, but it depends how... Oh, yes, I have to show you this bridge. How terribly everything goes from here. All right. This is probably the best bridge in all of this route. All the London to Brighton route, certainly. Possibly in all of Train Simulator. It's a pretty great route. Pretty great bridge. Let's do a little cinematic camera experimentation, since we have another 25 miles until we actually have to be somewhere. Here we go. Sorry, I should just let the train make its own noise and not do the meow for it. But that Doppler effect, it's too tempting. I can't not. Let's get some more speed on, because we're down to 82 miles an hour and we don't want to be late. Now we only have 12 seconds to spare. Let's see if we can do a side of the track one. Nope, nope, nope. Alright, it only wants to do above the train. We'll just put on full power to get back to 89 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour. What do you say? 86, 87, 88, green lights, 89, and let's go to 39% throttle and see how that does us. Yeah, you don't want to pull back too far because it does make some pretty severe train approximations in order to make shadows not lag the game down too much. I also have my quality set on only about medium to actually do, reasonable streaming quality. Okay, you want me to go to 90.1? I will go to 90.1. Actually, fun fact, you'll see what happens when I go to 90.1, and you'll see what happens when I go up to about 90.9. And just exactly how they measure their speed limits in this particular game. It tells you some very interesting things about how the game actually works. So 90, 90.1, 90.2, 90.3, 90.4, no speeding, 90.5, 90.6, 90.7, and 90.6, I'll just kind of keep it around there. 90.8, 90.9, let's keep it right there. So 90.9 is not going to be speeding because 90.7, dropping down again. It does something like, if the speed is less than 91, you're okay. Or more specifically, like, if its speed is greater than 90, then you are speeding. Oh, there's an 80 mile an hour. Oh dear, there's a limit there. We are going to speed. We are going to speed. 84, 83, 82, 81. Okay, we almost got a terrible, also it's starting to rain again. Penalty there. Barely got under the 80 with just minus 2 points. Let's put those windshield wipers back on. It's raining again. Here in England, we expect it to rain all the time. Alright, we need some more speed again. That almost went poorly. Sorry for the sudden deceleration, passengers. The service to London remains on time and safely going, but you might have dripped some of your coffee on the floor during that recent acceleration. We apologize for any inconvenience. But now we're entering a 90 zone again, so we can get right back up just as soon as the last car clears. 80.0. Alright, back up to 90. And we will, of course, full power. Minus 4? It was minus 4? Oh, that's unfortunate. I thought I stuck it at minus 2. That's 20 whole points that I've lost so far. This is unacceptable. Man, I'm never going to be a locomotive engineer in real life at this rate. So I was looking at a real place in America that sells used, decommissioned, and otherwise for sale trains. I see that, for example, there are some for sale for surprisingly reasonable prices. There's a $30,000 and a $90,000 set of private train cars that interest me. I saw some DMUs that thank you, TI Freak. Some DMUs that well, it seems like they might not actually have the motors in the wheels anymore, but could be a great base for building my own private train car. Those of you who have talked to me before about my personal goals for the future or have watched my channel might know that in the future I definitely want my own private train car. I have a long history of making plans for my own train car. I did not see where we are right now. And one day I would like to make that a reality. The thing that's stopping me is space, funds, and time right now. The trifecta of things that stop people from doing things, I suppose. But this seems like an actual reasonable way to get started. And an acquaintance, friend, teacher, professor of mine started as a professor, became a friend. I've gone to work at his train museum before, lay some track there. So they might have space. I'd have to probably make a generous donation to their museum for them to let me keep a train car in progress there and work on it there. There would be some additional cost of, actually shipping it from wherever the current train cars are being stored over to that museum. But that could, it's not that far-fetched in the grand scheme of things, provided I just had a little bit more money and a little bit more time and knew what was going on with my life. Those who know me quite personally know that my life has been a little bit of a jumble over the last couple of weeks. You certainly haven't seen, hey, a plane, many videos on my channel lately, and part of the blame for that is my relatively new startup and everything there. Part of it is that life has been a little bit hectic and falling apart, not to mince words for me at the moment, but hopefully life will go on. Things could always be worse, they say. My condolences to one of my favorite YouTubers, Moleman978, whose grandfather recently passed. He had a memorial video and an explanatory video on his channel over the last couple of weeks, so my severe condolences to him for his loss. I have had a loss of sorts. It is not a death in the family, so I will not even try to compare it, but I've not been having a grand old time lately. We are here at Gatwick Airport. I just paused to take a little look-see at our train. Let's take something from this side. Very nice. We even get that little guy standing there. He looks like I forget his name, from Thomas the Tank Engine. I also want to show you on the roof of this building, if I can put myself into free camera, you will see, I know I've shown you this before if you've looked at my, oh dear, I went too far out. Where have I, the biggest British Rail logo in all of England is this giant logo on the top of Gatwick Airport. It is there in real life, and it is huge. This is Gatwick Airport over here. That's why we saw some planes earlier taking off and landing. There's one landing over there. Anyway, let's get back into our train before anything terrible happens. We run red lights or we miss an AWS alert. So yeah, I've had a funny old time of it lately, but that's how life goes. I might say more at a later time. I might not. We shall see. Depends on how the future goes. I try to be a pretty optimistic person, as well as, I don't know, sometimes my optimism gets the better of my realism, but hopefully everything works out for the best in the end. What else can we talk about? So, private train car, that's important, knowing that there are ways to actually buy private trains, and presumably, their listing price is like $30,000, $90,000. I saw something as low as $11,000 for a decommissioned DMU, so that's a diesel multiple unit. Like, these are electric multiple units that have electric motors. DMUs have a diesel engine inside each car or inside each set of cars that makes it go. Unfortunately, in many cases, those have diesel engines that are linked directly to the wheels, which is not really what you want. For my particular train car, I would prefer electric bogies. Bogies are, or trucks, electric trucks, I suppose, where you have an electric motor on the wheels, but then a diesel engine that provides the power for the wheels. That's how I want my private train car to be, because I want my private train car to be self-powered. Now, we have only 3 seconds to spare for Croydon, so I'm going to try to get us up going a little bit faster, a little bit closer to that 90 miles an hour. We're also going up a little bit of an incline right now, so our train is drawing 135 amps, getting itself up this hill. And I need to keep an eye on that speed. Little pedestrian bridge going over us. 6 watching. Thank you guys for sticking with me for this. It's nice to have people actually watching while I am filming for once. Usually I just do this by myself, narrate, look at my documentation as I go, and expect to see the feedback afterwards, but it's kind of fun to have you guys here while I am watching, while I'm playing, giving your more real-time feedback. 89.3 miles an hour. Doing well, doing well. One of the only downsides here is I have my air conditioner turned down so it won't create a huge amount of background noise, but because it is summer here in New York City, it's getting on the slightly toastier side. I hope it's not too warm where you guys are. You've got nothing else on, Alex? Well, I hope this can be a reasonable piece of entertainment while you're doing nothing else. One of the reasons I got into, I mean, obviously I love Train Simulator, so I play Train Simulator, but the reason I got into Train Simulator videos and watching the YouTuber I previously mentioned, Moleman978, in the first place, was that I found it to be a pretty therapeutic thing to do while I'm doing something that doesn't require my full brain, like, you know, some coding that I've already figured out the design for, or sketching or something like that. And I hope I can provide something fun for you guys along the same vein. And I'm just gonna coast nicely, and by coast I mean put on the brakes, down to 80 miles an hour, because we're about to go into an 80. And there we go. Nice and smooth, no quick deceleration this time. Also, what do those two hands mean? Is the two hands emoticon like clapping or high-fiving? What is that? Uh-oh. We are speeding. 8 points off. Boo us. What is that supposed to be exactly? Apparently I'm not hip with all the cool emoticons and emojis these days. And we're about to head back out of the tunnel. Alrighty. With East Croydon coming up in just 10.5 miles now. 8 minutes to go until East Croydon. Now we're going up an incline and we're in the 90, so let's get that speed right up again. For some reason I glanced over at that do 90.1 mile an hour remark and thought it said something like do a barrel roll. I think doing a barrel roll ding in a train is not recommended. There is a train in this game called the jet train that's basically a jet engine mounted on train wheels that probably could do a barrel roll, but I don't think I'd recommend that as something that's good for the neighborhood around where the trains run. So let's not do a barrel roll today. No, I would prefer not to. Thank you. No barrel rolls today. I'm proud to say that anytime Train Simulator has gone massively wrong for me, it has not been an intentional crash. Well, because it's really unpredictable. It likes to fly off curves and just kind of launch itself into the air as you'd expect from, you know, a jet engine on wheels. We're trying to, you know, actually get these people safely to their destination today. See these people here? How do I actually... Nope, not like that. Well, doesn't seem to be too many people in here today, but you know, they want to get where they're going safely. Apparently they've all abandoned me. I don't know where they've gone to. In a tunnel. Tunnel. Well, I have to actually get to London first if I'm going to play around with the jet train at all. I mean, yes, there are certainly crash compilations. You come to YouTube for a jet engine on wheels? Alright. Well, I'll have to find a way to satisfy your curiosity about that at some point. But I'm proud to say that I haven't actually intentionally crashed trains into each other in Train Simulator before. I feel that would reflect poorly on, you know, my goals to actually successfully drive trains at some point. I feel like they would not look kindly on my escapades in intentionally crashing trains, you know, in a game. As I mentioned previously on my channel, I have driven real trains in real life before. It has been a fun experience. I wish I had more opportunities to, you know, drive trains in real life. I've mentioned on this channel before that my burnout plan for when my startup is a super huge success or a complete failure is to take a little bit of time and drive some trains for Amtrak. So that could be a lot of fun. So far I've heard some, hello train, pretty ubiquitous support from my friends for this burnout plan. A little bit different than coding in front of a computer all day. I think it could be a lot of fun. You'll buy me a coffee. Well, buying me a coffee for succeeding in getting a job as a train driver after putting Train Simulator on my resume sounds like an admirable goal to me, and one that I'll have to work on. So we're on the fast lines over here on the left, by the way, while over there on the right are the slow lines. Those are the ones with the stations between here and East Croydon. Like the station our esteemed friend lives on, as I recall. Let's pull out a little bit and look more at this. Nice scenery here. Nice roads. That's the M something, I'm sure. And apparently the game counts this as a tunnel because it just forced me back into my cab, even though it's clearly not a tunnel. Oh, we're going to be 7 seconds late to East Croydon. That's unacceptable. Unacceptable indeed. Let's go faster. Oh, we're also going down a hill, so let's not go too fast. Oh, the wipers! Good point. Thanks. Thanks for that. See, I don't drive a car, so it doesn't occur to me just how important it is to turn off the windshield wiper when it's not raining. This is one of the things I'm going to have to learn that is not involved with driving when I eventually get legal ability to make a motor vehicle go around. Let's be super obfuscated there. Yes, he must indeed have had my YouTube subscribed. I'm glad that that particular user has not been around for a while. We've, by and large, had an amazing group of people at Chemetech. I'm proud to call so many people my friends that I've known on Chemetech for weeks, months, years, in some cases decades, especially the several of you that are watching the stream right now. I know some of you are long time friends of mine, but we do occasionally have a rare bad egg, sadly. What was that loud bumping about? So we try to avoid getting too many of them, and by and large we've been extremely lucky in having a friendly, dedicated group of guys at Chemetech, guys and gals of course. Yes, I want to keep my wiper blade nice and polished. If you don't use it, it gets rusty. I don't know if you guys knew this. That's exactly what it was. Thank you, A-Helper. Alex got temp band? Maybe you should have typed so much. Everything's going ding in my ear. I don't know if it's going ding in your ears as well. I have at least 3 devices here that like to notify me when I get messages. Now we have a 60-mile-an-hour zone coming up. That was another loud bump there. Yep. AWS, caught the AWS. I just have to tap Q when that happens and all is well. Welcome back, Alex. Comic. Our esteemed administrator, Elf Prince 13, is sending messages to my desktop, my laptop, and my phone, so I'm certainly hearing all about that. We're also juddering about a little bit here, so let's get that speed right down. Juddering is not desired, either for me or for our passengers. Yeah, I don't like that. Don't like that at all. Alright, that was maybe a little too enthusiastic on the acceleration, but we are very safely down 60 miles an hour as we near East Croydon, coming up in just 1.31 miles. If East Croydon is your destination, please prepare to disembark and make sure that you have all of your personal belongings with you. Thank you for riding Southern Rail today. Change at East Croydon for a whole bunch of trains to a whole bunch of other places that I don't know, never having been to England. I'm sure that there are some good places you can go from there. That was an interesting set of sounds. 45-mile-an-hour zone coming up in half a mile, so let's keep an eye on that. Let's also keep an eye on that AWS marker so we don't go into emergency braking. Alright, let's start getting down for that 45. Since we're going 60 now, we don't have to worry quite as much. Sorry about that, A-Helper. Yeah, the universal hangout message sound means it can get a little bit confusing. I apologize to those of you watching this video after the fact and keep wondering if you're getting messages. When I hear Skype sounds in other people's streams and videos, I get equally confused. East Croydon has quite a severe bend in it. There's a quick curve in the station itself, so that's why we have to make sure we're down about 30 miles an hour. We are safely down that 45. Let's get down to the 30. I may have left that a little bit short. Sorry for the swift braking, everyone. Still have green lights all the way in. We are cleared into the station. That would have been a yellow if we were not cleared into actually out of the station. We're cleared out of the station as well. And let's make sure we can do this nice and professionally. So let's set ourselves into 33% braking. Do we get an AWS ding? AWS ding. And let's see how well we can hit the S-car marker here. Too much acceleration. Coasted nicely. Let's... Don't quite have all the train in here. Almost. Ah, look at that. Oop, not emergency braking though. Professionalism. Let's see how well I did that. Oh yeah, very nice. Actually, I could have gone a little bit further to get to the S-car, 12-car marker there, but not bad at all. Here we are at East Croydon, ladies and gentlemen. If this is your final destination, this is where you should get off. You should no longer be on the train. Screenshot acquired. Well, when I was in HCWP TI Freak 8X, there was no one there, so unless it suddenly got super busy in HCWP, apparently that's hard to say tonight, you're not missing out on much. But next week you should definitely join. I'm afraid that I will likely not be there in HCWP next week because we have a 7 to 9 p.m. event that is related to our startup. But maybe afterwards, depending on what time we get home and how exhausted I am. Perhaps. Doors are closed. Let us depart East Croydon. Next stop is Clapham Junction. Let's not go into 100% acceleration straight from a stop. That is a great way to burn out our motors, resistors, and everything else. The next stop on this Brighton to London service will be Clapham Junction, platform 12, in just about 8 miles. Change at Clapham Junction for services to a whole bunch of other places. Sea learning help. Yes, you should definitely ask some sea learning questions. I mean, we could try the very exciting proposition of you trying to ask questions while I drive and see if I can simultaneously juggle successfully driving a Class 377. Why am I speeding? What? I'm going 30 and 45. How is that speeding? Well, that was annoying. If I can juggle, well, apparently I can't even talk about it without speeding. Giving you sea advice while simultaneously successfully driving a train. Our little experience just now should perhaps suggest that this isn't the best idea in the world. Let's get up to that 60 mile an hour limit so that we can get to Clapham Junction in a timely manner. One thing I haven't really tried out very extensively yet is Train Simulator World, which is, instead of being built on this kind of homebrew engine that Dovetail Games made for Train Simulator like 2012 through 2017, is actually built on the Unreal Engine and is a lot more interactive. Like, you can get out of the trains and walk around, throw switches, couple and decouple things, all kinds of fun train-related stuff like that. But when I first tried it out, my computer severely struggled with it just playing, let alone recording. So I'm not sure that I will. Come on, I am not speeding. That is a total fabrication. Hello, Class 377. Lots of Class 377s in this particular scenario, not a whole lot else. So hopefully they use the feedback that they got from people testing out this beta of Train Simulator World to make it a little bit more performant. Oh, look, it's raining again. Let's turn those windshield wipers back on. Screech, screech, screech. Now we'll get ourselves up to 70 miles an hour as we round a nice little curve here. Oh, look at that super elevation. Yes, that's what we love to see. Super elevation is where the train leans into a curve in order to minimize the centripetal force effects on the passengers so that it's a more comfortable ride. It's a technique used on high-speed trains who actually tilt themselves even further into curves to make the ride more pleasant for their passengers. TI Freak 8X says he will probably start up a topic asking with help getting the examples at cprogramming.com to work on the TI-84 Plus CE. And I think that's a great idea. If you guys watching this who have not previously done much work or any work with programming are curious about learning programming for computers, calculators, Arduinos, Raspberry Pis, phones, whatever you want to program on, I strongly recommend you stop by Chematech, log in, introduce yourself either in the topic that we have for that purpose or in the nice little Sax chat sidebar that we have, and just say hello, say what you're working on or what you want to work on, and we have lots of people who would be happy to help you. We are more than happy to help anybody from the absolute beginners to the seasoned programmers like TI Freak who are exploring new platforms and new languages. Of course, if you also love Train Simulator or trains or model trains or rail fanning or anything in between, we certainly welcome you there as well to share your passion, share your hobbies, and join our community. As I said, we tend to be a pretty outgoing, friendly bunch, always happy to see new people and welcome new people into the fold. I met many of my close real-life friends there and don't intend to stop anytime soon. Time constraints of running a nascent startup notwithstanding. Alrighty, we have 4 miles to Clapham Junction, which is our penultimate stop before London, Victoria. Ding! We're going through some station. See if I can actually see what it is. Nope. Head towards it, I can tell you that. Why have we slowed down so much? Paying too much attention to talking about how awesome Chemetech is and not enough to making sure that I'm staying near the speed limit. My ETA is 12 seconds, early for Clapham Junction, so that's good. Now we're in the 60, heading back up towards 60. Past your bedtime, TI Freak 8X. Alrighty, have a good night and a good sleep, sir. I'm sure I will talk to you bright and early in the AM. I am indeed enjoying the stream. I hope everyone else is, and hopefully you'll get a chance to watch whatever wild hijinks happen after you depart, TI Freak. I'll let you know if I accidentally run through the buffers at London Victoria because I didn't stop fast enough and some terrible calamity has ensued for you to check out. Good luck with your whole getting up at 4 a.m. dealio. I do not, in particular, envy you that. I see that Hulavoo on our IRC channel tells me that there are 3 people on HCWP right now, which is very exciting. So that means Hulavoo, A Helper, and at least somebody else is hanging out on HCWP and doing programming things. Maybe Geek Boy or Yambian or others of our frequent visitors. I got a chance to spend some time with Geek Boy, one of my other Chemetech friends who's transitioned from being just an online friend to a very good real-life friend. I recently attended his wedding as a member of the wedding party, so that was a great deal of fun. It's funny how these things evolve over the years. So he is a frequent visitor to HCWP. I'm sorry he's not here on the stream. I should have invited him. I'll have to make sure he gets here next time. Of course, if you have suggestions, comments, questions, recommendations for the next time I do train simulator videos, either streaming or, ahead of time, please do let me know. And I'm more than happy to listen. I aim to do these as much for you guys as for myself. It's a nice little adventure for me, but a way to socialize with you guys and share a little bit more of my life. Ding. AWS. And we're speeding again. I have to keep my eye on that better. I don't know why I'm doing so poorly on that with the 60. Ah, it's because I'm going down a hill. That's why. Oh, that's a lot of points I lost right there. That's unfortunate. Let's manage that speed slightly better, as Sean Bean would say. Sean Bean did the introduction for Train Simulator 2015. If people are curious, I can link that in the description of this video once it goes out on my channel. It's a pretty amazing video talking about trains, train driving, and Train Simulator. And the fact they got Sean Bean to narrate it is pretty awesome as well. There comes Clapham Junction in just about 1.5 miles till the end. No, just about 1 mile till the end of the platform. So we definitely need to keep an eye on that speed. As I've said in other videos, I try to enter stations at just about 37 miles an hour for a reason that currently eludes me. Other than that, that's a frequent number that people guess when you ask them to guess a number between 1 and 100. Everyone is muted on HCWP. Well, that's annoying. When I was there last week on HCWP, the geeky scientist kept muting me. The first time was on purpose. The subsequent times were because he was trying to unmute me while I was also trying to unmute myself. Let's get ourselves down to 37. Hulu says that everyone's muted because I'm streaming, so that's fun. I'm okay with that. I'm, in fact, quite flattered. Also, I decelerate a little bit early for that. I forgot just how good the brakes are on this Class 377. Let's take another look at that. Oh, yeah. Great screenshot opportunity there. Alrighty, now we can start slowing down a little bit as we enter Clapham Junction. Clapham Junction is a huge station. Platform 12 means we're all the way over on the side. Alrighty, we're slowing down nicely as we enter the station. Attention, ladies and gentlemen, if Clapham Junction is your final destination, please get ready to detrain. Make sure you have all of your personal belongings with you today, and we thank you for riding Southern. Ding. This is Clapham Junction, Clapham Junction. Oh, look at that. Oh, that is impressive. That is professionalism right there, stopping right at the 12-car marker. That is what we aim for. That is what we strive for. And Inexplicably, our last two coaches, did not open their doors. Last 3 coaches? What's going on here? Last 3 coaches inexplicably did not open their doors, but that is not my fault. Not my fault at all. Last call for Clapham Junction. If this is your stop, you should depart. Next and final stop will be London Victoria Station. Next and last stop, London Victoria. Please stand clear of the closing doors. Timeliness bonus. Doors are shut. And off we go. The guard says we're good to go. That's what that double beep is. Start out nice and easy. Kick it in 62%. Go from series to parallel, perhaps. I need to look that up so I know if I'm saying that properly. It's the resistor rate. Ooh, look at that. Hold on, we have to get a screenshot of this, I think. Pardon my screenshotting. Yeah, there we go. Get class 450 with our class 377. Beautiful. All right. Nice. And continue. Let's get a little bit more power on. Got to stand to that 45-mile-an-hour limit that we're about to approach as we head towards London Victoria in just 2 1/3 miles. We're just about nearing the heart of London now. We're a bit on the outskirts, headed in. And let's, as I just said, be aware of that 45-mile-an-hour limit. All right, we should be good. There we go. Coast right under the 46, and we're good. You can see we have a little bit of a hill coming up, and then we head right back down again. I believe this is an elevated right-of-way. One time I did a custom scenario, and it routed me towards some strange tracks over to the right of us now. Oh, kind of like this. Ha! But I think there were some tracks even further to the right, so that's not quite what I'm talking about. Let's see if we can get some good views from out here. Oh, look at that. That might be a screenshot opportunity as well. In fact, I think I've done screenshotting here before. Very nice. Look at our train. Look at our train. That is a train. That is what we call a train. Super elevation for days. A little more speed though. And we're doing well. There's Battersea Power Station. If you've watched Doctor Who or you know London architecture, you might recognize Battersea Power Station over there, site of memorable things like Sherlock, Orphan Black, that episode where the Cybermen were being created with David Tennant and Billy Piper. Famous power station that is now being turned into condos, from what I last saw, heard, you know. 1 mile to London Victoria. Hello, class 377. That is very much not allowed to be honking my horn like that, but oh well. I just want to say hello to the other trains and be friendly. AWS cleared. We are really not going that fast. I don't know what I'm getting AWS. Oh, because we have a double amber. Start slowing down a bit. Spatting at this point would be very bad. Spatting being signal passed at danger. Here we pass the Thames, crossing over the Thames, as we head into North London and London Victoria. What? Emergency brake. Ah, oh, damn it. I missed the AWS. This is what happens when you go over the train. This always happens. Every single time. You leave the train and you miss the AWS alert. Alright, we're at a stop. Set ourselves back into forward. And get going again. You know what? That's obnoxious. That is incredibly obnoxious. Because I was clearly in no danger of going through a red light. With just 2/3 of a mile to London Victoria. Emergency brake setting, that's annoying. Hello, train. Now we're gonna head down to this hill here. We're gonna see a 20-mile-an-hour zone. We're gonna slow down for the 20. Yeah, I know. I see it. I see it. Do we have a red there? We have a red there. Let's stop before that red. successfully stopped at the red. Ladies and gentlemen, we bring you a slight delay while we wait for a red signal to clear. The East Croydon to London Victoria portion of this hasn't gone quite as smoothly as the Brighton to East Croydon section. And I do apologize for that, ladies and gentlemen. We here at Southern, however, are confident we will get you where you need to go today. We thank you for riding with us. 77173, 78602, 78581. There's our nice Southern logo on the side there. Look at all those people in our train today. And we are in 377440. So those numbers I was reading off before were the individual car numbers. 377440 is the set of, I believe, 4 cars that we have here. Can I request pass signal? Danger denied. You can press tab to basically call the dispatcher and say, hey, I want to go through this red signal, which you're allowed to do at no more than 15 miles an hour if you're cleared by the dispatcher. But we were not so cleared, so we just have to wait here for this red to clear. Wait. I'll go on a little less braking. Maybe I'll even do no braking and see if we start to creep forward. Since we are on an incline. Yes, we will. If we put ourselves in idle, we will creep forward and possibly pass this red light by accident. I'll stop myself before that. But inching up while we wait for this red light is definitely a thing that we will do to keep ourselves entertained. Request to pass signal at danger denied. Come on, red light. We have places to be. Hello. If this is a bug in the game, I'm going to be quite disappointed. Actually, it says our ETA is 10:12:35 an hour. Requested time of arrival is 10:12:35. Scheduled time of arrival, I should say. So I guess we're just waiting for our slot in the station. Presumably there's going to be a train charging past at some point. That will be the one that is currently where we need to go. Let's see if we can take a look up here and find out. So where are the points set right now? The points are set. That's us on this track, yes. For us to head over to the side here. Those points are set the same way. So if we follow this track along, these points are set improperly, actually. That's annoying. Alright, so maybe there's a train leaving on that track. And then we cross over this crossover. See what we have in here. I don't see any particular trains that would be blocking us. Look at all these empty platforms. What are you doing, Train Simulator? Clearly, I can get into the station. Let me just double check that we haven't gotten our signal. We have not. So let's look around London a little bit more. So, this is London. Do you recognize it? Doesn't it look just like London to you? Looks exactly like London. There's the Thames. There's where we cross the Thames. There's those tracks we took over there. There's Battersea Power Station. Can take a look at Battersea. Very nice, very nice. Iconic. Those smokestacks. Very nice. We can even just peer down these smokestacks if we so desire. Look at all these tracks crossing the Thames. I love it. So many tracks. Oh, here's another train behind us. Pulling in. Signal? No signal yet. So we just wait. Sorry that this is such an exciting part of the stream, but, you know, sometimes in driving trains, you just have to wait patiently. Sometimes that's what you have to do. That is just how life rolls. You know, that's a good metaphor for life in general, apropos to what's going on with me right now. Sometimes you just have to wait patiently. Sometimes you just have to live your life and expect that the things you want to happen in the end are the things that are going to happen in the end. My personal drive is definitely to, you know, be proactive and do the things now. Always, you know, do something to make things happen. If something's broken, fix it, do whatever I can. But sometimes that's just not how life works. Sometimes that is not the solution. So there we go. There we go then. I'll just type away on my laptop while we wait. I'll request to pass the signal of danger again. I'll release the brakes and let us inch up a little bit more. 5 watching now. Excellent. Thank you. Welcome back, whoever left and then came back. You're joining us at the very exciting time when we're waiting to pass a red light. Waiting to get clearance into London Victoria Station. Because apparently we got here too fast. We just did too good a job. Come on, dispatcher. Let us into London Victoria. All of our passengers want to go, and clearly there is no particular reason why we should be waiting because that station is wide open. Which is kind of interesting considering that it's presumably like 10 a.m. on a weekday. I don't know why there wouldn't be tons of trains there, unless they just discharged their passengers and then disappeared to wait for the evening rush hour. Tum tiddly tum, tum tiddly tum. Ah, a yellow light. Let's go. Yes. Speed! 20 miles an hour of speed! Cleared into platform 15. Let's do this. Yes! Speed! I need a Richard Hammond or a James May to be the foil to my Jeremy Clarkson, though. Tell me that we need to be cautious and careful and methodical. Actually, I think I identify a little bit more with Richard Hammond. Sorry, with James May. I identify much more with James May than I do with James Clarkson. Jeremy Clarkson, excuse me. I'm mixing up all their names. Like me, he has an abiding love of model trains. He enjoys tinkering with things. And let's face it, he has some pretty awesome doofy hair, just like me. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now arriving at London's Victoria Station. This is our final stop. We ask that everybody leave the train at this stop. You can change for other trains to points north, south, west, and east from here. We thank you for riding Southern trains today. We hope that you have had a pleasant journey from Brighton or points north, and we look forward to serving you again. And ladies and gentlemen of the stream, thank you for joining me on this first of my train simulator streams, and in fact my first live stream in general. It has been a very fun experience having you all joining me as I drive this train. It's raining here inside London Victoria inexplicably, so I'll keep my windshield wipers on. I hope you will join me in the future. As always, please feel free to give me any comments, suggestions, recommendations, questions that you may have, either in the comments for this video, as it will no doubt eventually be posted on my channel or on Chematech. And I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. I guess I'll call it there then. Thank you guys so much. Actually, before I do that, before I sign off for real, let's see what the final score was, because that's something that'll be important to know. There we go, plus 240. So we got 862 points. Could have done a lot better than that. We lost many more points than I realized somewhere along the way there. But if I'm correct, that'll still get us... Oh, not quite a gold star, a silver star. That's unfortunate. Well, we'll have to do better next time. On that note, thank you all for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next stream or the next video. Good night, guys.